Make sure these are all pressed down before we get going. I'll do that around this door too. Not entirely sure how I want to set the ladder up over here. I will have to get it set up somewhat. But I don't know if I want to do like A-frame sort of thing here or leaning on that wall, because I'll have to be able to cut all the way along there. So if I use the step ladder, step stool, I can get to about here fairly comfortably, maybe a little bit more. I wonder what this gets me. It's not locked into place. It's a little steep. But this gets me. It's a bit of a reach here, but I think I can make that work. It's a little bit sketchy times. Let's get one little piece of blue tape up on that. But it's not too bad, not that tape. There it is. I can do a little bit of a story time with that open house in a bit. I want to give people a chance to get in a little bit more. But you can get some idea of... It is, yeah. Let's try that again. Purpose built. Should I put that on my Swipey app profile? Purpose built. A lot of people are doing that now around here. Someone latched onto a trend and they're just like, black everything! Oh my goodness, contrast! Because we don't know how to do that with color! And like, don't get me wrong, I don't know how to do it with color, but I would rather... Yeah. I would rather not do black at all than just be like, oh my goodness, contrast! It is quite a trend around here. So let me know when we get 50 people watching, and I'll tell you my story about how stupid this open house was. I do. So we're going to try to get a bunch of other stuff done today too. I bought the chandelier that I need. We could install that. I would like to get ceiling touch-ups all the way around the kitchen and around those lights. We can install the toilet in the master bathroom. There's a few more plate covers to get on. Oh, Palooza is serenading me with poetry. That's why. Oh, I finally figured it out. Palooza has wanted to make sure I don't consider him a friend, so that once in a while he can come along with poetry. He doesn't want to be in the friends. I get it. He doesn't want to be in the friend zone. Oh man, you could have just said so. 3 years of this. You don't have friends nonsense. Are ya? Tell more. What level of Patreon do I have to be to learn more? All right, scary part. There. The clown that hides her dumb people. What? Oh, heights. Hey, Chili, how goes? How you doing, friend? Can you believe I got banned the other day? Here I was just making a funny joke. Gotta have some mod roll in with a ban hammer. I got banned on Ultra's channel. I want all the explanations. I absolutely did not deserve it. It was apparently a keyboard mash ban. But I absolutely did not deserve it. Oh man, cutting 2 different wall colors. So stress. No, it wasn't even that. It was apparently like they sat down and smushed their keyboard and that did it. That's what they said anyway. Yeah, streamer understood that I was just making a funny and actually thought that what I was saying was funny. Streamer was saying something about how people are being really demanding in DMs lately about stuff that, you know, really doesn't matter. Like, hey, look at my cat picture. Look at my cat picture. Very busy person. Hey, look at my cat picture. Look at my cat picture, sort of thing. Yeah, and no, actually, because I've already done that. So that's, you know, there's nothing funny there. What I said was, hey, Ultra, come check out my latest YouTube video. And like right now, and tell me what you think about it. And when you're done with that, give me a shout out for it. And that ties back to another thing Ultra had said earlier this week, last week, so recently enough that it, you know, is fresh enough in the memory to still be a funny. So I was just like, hey, look at my latest video and shout me out and all in the next 30 minutes sort of thing. Because I figure, hey, we can make light of a thing. Well, it wasn't even that. It was absolutely just like, I'm having a lull. And Ultra understood that I was having a lull. I don't, you know, it wasn't like actual you're banned. It was a purge. But what that tells me is I don't troll enough for people to understand that most of what I say is trolling. So I'm going to have to start working on that in her channel a bit more. By the way, everyone should go follow Ultrasaurus. If someone could put a link in, I'd be grateful. Oh, that is... Yes. I was being a sociologist. So I go in the house and, you know, I get there early so I can get back to work early. Not like early, like it's after opening time, but like just barely. And one of the guys is still in there working, which is, poor form. Get up that extra half hour earlier to get that done before the open house. But whatever. And get my shoes off, go in, walk towards the table. There's two realtors there. And like sometimes realtors, when they're bored or whatever, or they want to, you know, really try to get their exposure, they'll do multiple realtors in a house, but it's usually for significantly larger houses. Like the one where I found the girl whose sister, I don't know if she's single or not, realtor. She was at an open house of like a $4.5 million house, and they had like 6 realtors there, and it was a very specific like, hey, come on in. I'm gonna give you a tour. But not like, I'm gonna follow you around weirdly. It was like very specifically, let me show you around. Like, clearly this is what they're doing and this is why they have so many realtors there. So like, fine, that's okay. I got no problem with that, especially with a big house. Especially with a high price point house. You wanna really, you know, make a great effort at things. Have the realtors there, have them familiar with stuff and have them, give tours and be able to answer questions as you go instead of just wander around. And do it in a friendly way so that it doesn't at all come across in like, we got to keep an eye on you sort of thing, which is how a lot of people here at least come across when you go in and you want to start looking around and the realtor just starts to follow you. I've had some just follow me and say nothing at all, which is like, okay, what's even going on here? And then there was, you get the whole range, right? So I go and I'm starting to look towards the feature sheet, which is out on the table. And this guy comes out and he's like, hello, my name is this. Like, I will shake your hand. And I'm just like, hi, I wave. Like, shut you down hard on that one. It is. It's really, so I texted my realtor when I got back and I'm like, well, based on this one, we should be listing mine at like 1.12 million on a dollar per square foot basis. And like, that's just insane. They're not going to get that. I have an idea why it's priced there. And it's because we can get into that after. Remind me to go over why they are at that price point and how and how dumb it is for them to be at that price point, because it's dumb. Like, there's just no way. And I mean, like, it's one thing to have been that kind of like, I'm a business guy, we'll shake your hand, aggressive salesperson. Hey, time traveler, how goes? But like, we just got mostly through a massive plague, and like, shaking hands is not a given anymore. Even if we're coming out the back end of the plague, it's just not a given, and you shouldn't act like it is. So anyway, I'm looking at the feature sheet. I'm looking at it. I haven't picked it up yet. And he goes, oh, okay. When I respond that I wave. And he's like, well, we need to get you to sign in here just as a matter of liability, and they've got their little sign-up sheet. And I'm just like, oh, no, you don't. Don't play that game. That is 100% information harvesting. You don't need this at all. And like, I actually said that. This isn't like I'm thinking this in my head and just kind of like, yeah, I don't want to. I actually told him, you don't actually need that. This is just for information harvesting. Don't play that game. Like, literally said those words. I'm going to shut this guy down hard. And he didn't back down. And it's just like, you start with a lie. You don't need this for information harvesting. Most places that do open houses don't have sign-in sheets. And when you try to do a sign-in sheet and you say, hey, would you mind signing in? If someone says no, just let it go. Just let it go. But he didn't let it go. And he made up some other excuse, and I'm just like, well, yeah, you can ask for it, but I don't have to sign in. It's like, nope, hard nope on that. Let it go. And he sort of backed down off of that at that point. So I start looking around. And, before I start looking around, I pick up the feature sheet and I say, ooh, that's a very high dollar per square foot. And, let it dangle off and give him an opportunity to comment about it. And he's like, yes, you'll find that in many of the houses in this neighborhood. Blah, 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 lies and garbage. And it's because of the meticulous attention to detail and this and that and whatever. Which you can see in the Twitter post there if you want to. Go have a look. It was better than some have been. but it's still not what anyone would really call meticulous attention to detail. So then I start looking around, and he just starts to follow. And he starts to give off little one-liners about an area that I go into. And I'm like, okay, you want to play this game? You want to be the know what's going on? Let's find something obvious. Detail. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, you want to play this game? Let's pick something obvious. Let's give you an easy fly ball here. Give you a chance to redeem yourself. So I look at the master bathroom vanity, and there's a big line going all the way front to back, and it looks ugly. And I just say, oh, what's going on here? And his response is, oh, that must be where they put a seam in. Except the vanity's like 6 feet long, and these things come in like 10 or 12 and a half feet by 5.5 feet, and the pattern's continuous, right? So like it's obviously not a seam. So I say, well, no, it's not a seam. These things come in like 12-foot lengths. And he just, nothing. He got nothing to respond to that with. But he keeps following me around. And he's like, oh yeah, so I showed you guys last night, and you can look at it on the link I gave you, the glass wasn't there when they did the photos, so the glass had just been installed last night, except it had just been sort of put in place and held with tape. There's no caulk in it yet or brackets or anything, so like it's not installed by any stretch of the imagination, but he's trying to say that it was. And just like other obvious nonsense stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. And, you know, he's cutting off my ability to take photos just by being loud and there. So I didn't get to get as many photos as I would have liked. That wasn't the only example of bad tile, for sure. But finished the look at the upstairs and start to head downstairs, and he starts to follow me again. And I just turn to him and I'm like, dude, it's okay. I got this. Which is about as politely as I could say to say, you're being weird and following, and you're not giving a tour, and it's just weird. Stop it. But like, I had given pretty obvious body language and behavioral cues to say like, you know what, maybe I'm not super interested in what you have to say right now, and you should just let me do my look at. So I actually had to tell him, it's okay, I got this. And then he stopped bothering me. And then 5 minutes later, the other realtor that was there comes downstairs to start trying to interact or whatever. Oh, do you live in the neighborhood? Are you looking to buy? Blah, blah, blah. And my response was, wow, the way they did the plumbing for the laundry was really weird, because they put the exhaust vent on the left side, right beside where the water taps are. And it was on the side, so you wouldn't be able to have your two laundry machines all the way pushed to the side. You would have to have it far enough away out that you would be able to get your 4-inch exhaust hose or whatever for your dryer. And then you got to have goofy long water supply lines for your washer. And it's just like weirdness. But yeah, that was, you know, the house for the most part wasn't that bad. The tiling was really bad, which is too bad because, you know, that's like your finished thing that you're gonna notice. And it made it hurt to walk on because they did really bad transitions, etc., etc. But the realtors were just, the guy thought the way to do it was to be aggressive and in your face, and that's how you do sales. You gotta take control of the conversation. Yeah, so that one should be, and it's another one of those, well, it's not his listing, so they don't really care. Try to justify it in a way that doesn't make any sense. It's a fairly simplistic way to look at how to value a house, but, you know, I do have things that they definitely don't have and can't have that add a lot of value that you can't, there's no way for them to get what I've got, right? Like my increased square space makes everything feel bigger. It's not just you have more space, it feels like more space, it feels grander, it feels like, you know, everything about it just feels bigger. And I've been told that size does in fact matter. I have got full irrigation for all my yards, and they don't have that. I have restructured the house for a whole new roof. They don't have that. I have, exactly. I've got tankless hot water, which they might be able to have, but they don't have. I've got an enormous, glorious shower, which they can't have, and would cost them tens of thousands of dollars to try to recreate, right? So it's just like, what I've got is clearly better, and they're kind of out to lunch. Now, the reason they're there at that price point is because at $869, they're a little bit smaller. The flip side is that one that sold at $785 was really bad finishes. Like if you went in there, you'd be like, wow, no one cared at all. At all. So they're thinking with the better finishes and whatnot that they should be higher. And that has, it's not just this one house that's saying that, it's two others that have been listed recently. One is in the 1,200 square foot range that was originally at like $825 or something and then came down on the day that I went to look at it. And then there was another one by the same realtor who could see that the quality was different. That $825 one, like you went in the front door and you had a wall of a closet. They didn't really do hardly any restructuring. So like, yeah, it's bigger, but the quality is just not there. And no one, I'm painting. What's going on where you are? So like everyone knows that it's bigger. Yes, you get more square feet. Yes, but the quality is bad. So you can't ask really too much more than that $785 one. So that kind of makes sense. But then the same realtor listed another house that did do some restructuring. Still has a big ugly beam, but you know, it is what it is. And they put that one at like $880 or something, like some big number. Like they're saying, okay, the other house that I listed doesn't get the big number, even though it's larger, but the quality wasn't there, the amount of work wasn't there. But this one does get the big number. So the same realtor listed two properties, same weekend. One was a lot higher, the other one was not. And the one that was higher price was much smaller. So that realtor was doing the same thing, like looking at the one that went for $785 and saying, well, I actually saw that one. The quality was garbage, but that's still a very big number for a very small property. But then this one that I went to today, they're looking at that one and they're like, well, it's about that size and our quality is about the same, so we're just gonna undercut it a little bit and then ours will sell first. And that way we win. So that's 100% how that one's coming to that price. Guarantee. And I mean, if you want to chase the high value flip by saying, we're going to do really good work and whatnot, well, then it has to be really good, especially in the places that matter, like your master bathroom shower. And theirs just isn't. And that's my professional opinion. And that's my story. Thank you for coming to my TEDx talk. So that didn't take super duper long, which is nice. We can let that start to dry. The only thing I've been playing lately, GoPro Hero 9 Black. The only game I've been playing at all lately has been Graveyard Keeper. Because by the time I am tired enough and stupid enough that I can't do any more editing, can't do any more research or paperwork, and can say like, yep, let's go let the brain fall out with some games. By that point, it's got to be a pretty brainless game. So I'll usually put on a show and just kind of grind away at that for a while. I used to play a bunch of Rocket League. I used to play a bunch of Apex. I wasn't very good at either, but I had fun. You know, I've never been on a motorcycle. I would like to someday. I have not yet. Okay, let's back roll those. I do a lot of just like bike cycle riding, which is a little different because then I'm getting a workout. And like I specifically use it to get a workout. That's why I've got rollers downstairs. Nope. I use the GoPro mic. The GoPro mic is actually pretty good. And then I only have to manage batteries for one thing at a time. Yeah, it really does. I was quite surprised. I was quite surprised when I got the GoPro going for the first time, because I didn't expect it to be a good mic. I expected it to maybe be serviceable, but it's actually quite nice. And then to upgrade to anything better in terms of microphone, I would have all sorts of synchronization issues because of the lag of the GoPro wireless streaming. And then to deal with those lag issues, I would have to get an HDMI capture and a wireless HDMI transmitter, and then, you know, it's just and then. So we do have the still cam set up today, and it is working. So if you guys want to play around with that, it's there. But the audio in that is much worse. It goes. How goes wrench? This is hopefully the last day of major painting. Oh no, how come? Let's finish cut rolling the rest of the ceiling. And then we can roll this wall, then we can pull the tape. What updated? Did you say Debian? Are you using Linux? To quote Adam Savage, well, there's your problem. Gesundheit. Hey, fellow leaf. Yeah, I've had snow for a little while. Well, it's kind of like I've always had snow, but decided to get it out of storage. I gotta get you guys in the Christmas spirit, so you give me lots of things for Christmas. Where are you at, Fell Leaf? Oh, terrible. What's her name, Wrench? All right, let's big roller this now. Almost done. Then we got to do this bit and we got to do that bit. Ooh. Did you go new RTX or are you waiting for the new AMD? Tier 3 resub is nice. You'll have to wait for the shirt things until I'm done paint stuff. Definitely starting to accrue some flakes and whatnot. Now, did I have a whole extra can? Dude, I wasted 30 bucks. I could have totally gotten away with just that one. I didn't think I could. Oh well. I really thought I would run out. Guess this wall is smaller than I thought it was. Well, better to be prepared than have to stop because I ran out, I guess. That was my thinking on this stuff. I'm guessing you're asking about the person who got themselves a new PC for Christmas? Wes? That does sound like a hefty upgrade. I'm excited to see what the new AMD GPUs are doing. There's rumors that they're supposed to be really good. Like even better than the Nvidias now. But I guess we'll see. It's kind of a bad line there. That's a bit better. Well, good overall. Like they're supposed to be, AMD is saying that they're better than the 4090s right now. Well, AMD's saying it's not. I mean, there's going to be some places where one wins and the other wins, but AMD is saying theirs is overall better. So that'll be really interesting to see. And it won't melt your power cables, lol lol lol. I've got two Intel systems. One was built fairly recently with a 12700K. Yeah, and what's the... Well, AMD's claiming for games too. AMD is they're saying that their rasterization is just better. Yeah, it's starting to get a lot of little flakes now. I wonder if that's because I left it uncovered for so long. Oh, get off. Hello, Kruger. Yeah, that's, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Tempted to just go what for high-end games? I can't even afford to buy the high-end game, let alone the cards to play them. Consoles, oh. Couple of good chunks there. Almost done this wall, both coats. Then we can peel the tape off. This is dry enough I can sand it and paint this wall. So we're gonna definitely finish today what I had planned to do in terms of painting. He was helping me with network stuff. Oh, nice. Yeah, I built, mine was for editing, the one that I recently put together. 12700K, 64 gigs. It's got an old 1080 Ti in it. My other one's a much older 6900K. With like a 1070 in it. A little bit of knock to it, yeah. There we go. Now we can peel tape. That's nice. Carefully. Really? Huh. I bet it's disgusting. Brown and no RGB. Oh, well then for that. Yeah, then if you want to go at it when the paint is dry, you just have to run an edge along like a putty knife. That's what I would expect. You would just have to run a knife along the edge of the tape, because otherwise then it will peel up chunks or it'll tear the tape. Whoops, oh well. Strange collab. Okay, well let's deal with that hand mess and then we'll get the last little bit off the door. I don't know, I can still hear him spin up when I'm doing a render. Not really what I'd call silent. Got the DH15 on the new computer. No, Kruger, it's not on the market. Okay, so there's that. Let's do the bit of sanding I have to do here. And we can start painting these two walls. This is why when Kruger asks if it's on the market, I just sound so tired of that question. Because I know he's not asking me a serious question. Now, Kruger, if you had won the lottery and you actually wanted to buy the house, then what you would say is, Moose, I won the lottery, I want to buy your house. And I wouldn't believe you, but at least you would be being honest. Okay, vacuum is over there, so is that brush. Okay, cut the top, cut the bottom, do a bunch of rolling. Let's get another roll of paper towel out, speaking of rolling. Oh, well, can someone put paper towel on my to-do list, please? Because I appear to be out. There's not very good flip margins in apartments here. I did look at that when I was in my last house. One of the realtors that was that got my listing for a little while was trying to get me hooked on the idea of a townhouse or an apartment. And I'm like, well, maybe, show me the numbers. And he showed me, and I'm just like, there's absolutely no upside here at all. How is this a good idea? And he's just like, no, I'm sure someone can make money with this. I'm like, show me. How? Make those numbers work. You get it for this much, you have to put this much work in. The highest anything in that building over the past 2 years is sold for is less than those two numbers put together. I don't see an upside. If I was to look at apartments, I'd be looking at like some of the apartments in Chinatown you can buy for under 100K. So what I would want to do is buy 4 of them and rent them out, sort of thing. Because I could buy with cash and then just live off what people pay me in rent, even if it's just a very little bit of rent. I don't feel an edge there. We'll see it when it's painted. Oh, let's back roll that first. Well, it would be smaller, but there might be rules about what you're allowed to do. And it would be more difficult to get material in and out for sure. But I don't know. Here they're treated pretty interchangeably. Well, that's what I would like to be able to do eventually, is instead of flip and sell, flip and refinance and then rent out. get some positive cash flow going. It depends on the apartment. There's some apartments in Chinatown that you actually can buy for under $100,000. And there are some apartments that go for 10 million. So it really depends. Okay, I did roll that back, gotta cut the bottom. Gotta be careful about this rounded corner. Sorry, Kruger, didn't hear. Say again. Well, most of the time you can't renovate an apartment because you're renting. Let's hope that doesn't turn into a disaster. Darn autocorrect. Yeah, I had one that poured bleach under my front door when I lived in an apartment. Kruger is also apparently happy still lying to me. Hey, Mahler, how you doing? Oh, that's still a mark. Well, we'll have to wait for this to be fully dried. I thought I'd fix that one. Well, the stress is there as long as it's not sold. As long as I'm not making money.